Let me take a selfie.
Thank you all for coming here today. I know it was a big step forward trying to come here today, so I'm just thankful to have all you here. So Debbie, would you like to start off with your story, please?
Well, it all started when I was a little girl. I remember my mom used to go grocery shopping and she would bring home cookies. And I would eat them all up before she ever had a chance to put them away. My love for cookies only grew larger, but it started getting out of hand. I was starting to neglect more important things like my family, my friends, and my bills. First, I was evicted from my house because I spent all my money on cookies.
Leaving you and that crazy cookie addiction.
My boyfriend left me because he said I had an addiction. It wasn't until I woke up and found myself surrounded by...
That was one crazy story, man.
Chips Ahoy! It's crazy with chips.
So we're gonna start off with how did this all begin? I feel that's a nice place to lead into this.
All right. What do you want me? You said when you clap, then I'll answer.
Yep. So it's gonna be how did this all begin? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. And
Yo, what's up? It's Jaden Grundy. I'm 21 years old. I basically am a model, influencer, stylist, just anything with like fashion and creative directing and stuff like that. So basically how this all began was I was basically into fashion already and I had outfits and really what I just wanted to do was just like show off my outfits. People were like, oh, you should make an Instagram to show off your outfits. So I was like, cool. Alright, so basically how I would describe myself is really like chill, laid back. I kind of always been that way, but like I guess I get pretty passionate about when I actually want to do something or like when I set my mind to something. So just like with the fashion and everything like that, I even had basketball before and like I was like, I want to be good at basketball. Like I like basketball. Boom, got good at basketball. Went to semi-state, all that. Then I was like, okay, I want to be fresh. Stop playing basketball. I'm gonna just be the freshest person. Forget it. Boom. You know what I'm saying? That picked up. Got some traction. Got some platform. And just, I don't know, went on from there. So, yeah. Basically, the whole sponsorship thing really made me think like, oh, I'm out here. I can take this somewhere. So, posting outfit pictures on Instagram kind of led to, I guess, someone on Forever 21's team contacted me, saw my stuff, and was like, hey, this is dope. We're gonna send you out some clothes and stuff like that. And then I started making images, styling their clothes, working for them, and then kind of just snowball affected from there. So as far as like my audience being bigger, I just think that right now, like, it's cool to have a platform, but for me to fully show my ideas to like the capacity that I think they should be at, I just think that I still need to work on my following. I still need to grow, stuff like that. just so I'll have that stronger platform. So when I launch an idea, it's just like 10 times more of an impact. So I think as far as the work ethic, it definitely translates into fashion because it's all about like consistency. Like no matter how hard you work, if you just work for one day and then just like BS, you know what I'm saying? It's not really gonna get you anywhere. So just keeping a consistent work ethic is probably where I think that I thrive at. Some advice that I would give is definitely just like I said, to be consistent. Everybody has to start somewhere. One of the problems I always had was kind of just like wanting to be good too fast, you know what I'm saying? Like not being at the place that I wanted to be when I start. So, I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. You gotta grow, you gotta learn, and overall, man, everything will just fall in line for you, so.
Is there anything you want to add in?
More content coming soon. Oh.
My name's Carly Turak. I've been barrel racing for 14 years.
Hi, my name is Sandy Palmer, and I am Carly Turak's mom. Carly started riding when she was about 3 years old. She instantly fell in love with horses, and she rode English Pleasure and Western Pleasure for a number of years, but it really didn't take long for her to decide that she wanted to go a lot faster. And that's when I introduced her to barrel racing. On October 29th, 2017, Carly was involved in a car accident where she sustained a compound fracture of her talus bone. So many things went through my mind when we got to the scene, where all I kept thinking is, she is going to be so upset because we have 2 big barrel races coming up that she's going to miss. And that is the first thing she said to me. I'm not going to get to go to the show. And right then and there, I wondered, how's this going to end? Is she ever going to get to ride again?
These past few months have been some of the hardest months for my family and I. On October 29th, I was rushed into the hospital after a serious car accident. Within 5 minutes, my parents showed up to the accident scene. Seeing my mom's face was just so hard, but she stood there and she held my hand through the whole thing. And the first thing I remember saying to her was, "Mom, I'm not going to be able to barrel race this weekend. We had a big barrel race coming up." And I remember one of the firefighters, when they got there, I was talking about that too. And he told me, he's like, "Oh, believe me, you'll be able to. I've seen it done before." And it just gave me hope.
When we got to the hospital in the ambulance, everything seemed to happen in slow motion, but by the grace of God, it happened rather quickly. We found out that the fracture that she had was extremely serious, and we had a very small window of opportunity to get it repaired, or this would be a debilitating injury for the rest of her life.
With a 6-hour window before the bone lost blood supply, things got pretty hectic. I can't even imagine the pain that my parents felt. Going into emergency surgery at 11 o'clock at night and then not getting out until 3 o'clock in the morning, I was very lucky to have the surgeon come when he did. He wasn't even on call or anything, and he came in and did surgery.
Carly was in surgery for a little more than 3 hours, where we sat around praying and hoping for the best possible outcome, knowing that the doctor had said that they had to get it put back together because that particular bone supplies all the blood to the foot, where it wouldn't just be her ankle that would be an issue, it would be all the bones in her foot. So when he came out and said that it was a very successful surgery, we were so happy, but he told us it was going to be minimum a year recovery.
It was a long 6 weeks in a cast, and then I was in a boot, and finally when I got put in the boot, I could start rehab. And I was going to therapy 2 times a week, relearning different things with strength, motion, how to walk again. And through that, I really grew a bond with all those people at that place, and they kept me positive during this whole time, because all I could think about was, wow, I really want to get back on my horse and ride again. But I just couldn't, because there was just the risk that I would fall off and re-injure myself again, because I was still healing.
When they finally took the boot off and she was able to put weight on her foot for the first time, it was very emotional, because to finally see her walk again was was something I waited for and couldn't be happier about. She had 2 months of physical therapy where they did everything from light exercising and stretches to more weight bearing, and as that progressed, she had another MRI where we found that her bone wasn't healing as quickly as it should be. Despite the fact that her bone isn't healed all the way yet, the doctor did release her to be able to ride again. And she has started riding again, and she has even started lightly competing again. So obviously that makes us all happy, because now it's lifted us up and out of our probably 6-month depression that we were in because we just didn't know. Even though we don't know what the end result is going to be, we're very hopeful that she will be able to continue to ride and compete and go down that path that she has wanted to go down since she was a very small child.
When I was finally released to ride again, I remember going out and I chose to ride my horse Big. He was a new horse that I got about a month before I had the accident. And getting on the first time, I really could not keep my foot in the stirrup. I couldn't barely even find the stirrup to put my foot in. And then it hurt a lot at first, and I just stayed positive, you know, like this is something that it's just not gonna happen overnight, getting back into it, and I'm just gonna have to deal with the pain, I guess. Now that a few months have gone by, I've been riding a lot, and my mom and I actually switched horses because her horse doesn't involve as much kicking as my old horse did, so I don't have to kick as much, since I really shouldn't. What I really encourage people to learn from what I did is just to stay positive. I have a long road ahead of me still, but I am just staying positive because I'm lucky to be here, and God kept me here for a reason, and nobody should ever take anything for granted.
If you could go back to that day, would you change it?
Honestly, I would not, because everything that happened that day has shaped me into the person I am now, and I just hope other people learn from what happened, and it's just really taught me that I'm lucky and I'm here for a reason. I have met some really great people along the way and gotten a lot of opportunities, and I hope in the future that I can continue to share this story to show people that you should never give up on your dreams, no matter what bump in the road that you have.
The way I say it is anyone can dance. You may never look like Fred Astaire, but if you're having fun, that's the point. Then we've achieved our goal. My name is Stephanie Hondrick. I am the owner and instructor at Go Dance Studio in downtown Goshen. Our specialty is ballroom, swing, and Latin partner dancing. So being in a smaller town, you have a couple of different challenges you face. You just have a smaller pool of people. A lot of the challenge is just reaching out to people who maybe it isn't their first instinct to want to be involved. We love to find those people that immediately want to jump in and they're super excited and super motivated, but we also have to find people who maybe it takes them a little bit longer to feel comfortable or to be excited about what they're learning. So a lot of that is just helping them to recognize that dancing is a skill just like any other skill. So I often will equate it to people say, oh, I can't dance. And I say, well, can you play the flute? And they're like, no. And I'm like, so if you wanted to learn to play the flute, you would have to take lessons, you'd have to learn, right? And then eventually you could play the flute. Dancing is the same way. The big difference is a lot of the skills that are required to dance we already possess because you already move your body in ways that are very similar to dancing. My dance instructor used to say, You do a more complicated movement getting into your car than anything we're going to teach you on the dance floor. The time when I value what I'm doing the most is when I step back and see a room full of people who are dancing and enjoying themselves and socializing and engaging in this community that we have built, and that seeing that it adds value to their life. That's the moment for me where it all just sort of clicks into place. All that hard work is worth it in those moments. Go Dance is just a place to come and be a part of a family. And you know, whether you're really great at dancing or it's just something you love to do and it's something that you're still learning as a beginner, everyone is welcome and everyone feels that welcome. And I've heard that so many times, and that is something that I'm truly grateful for, that environment and that welcomeness that we exhibit in our community.
Hi, my name is Corinna Damo.
My name is Miranda Dietz.
I was diagnosed with depression in 6th grade when I was 13.
I am 17 years old, and I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety around 13 or 14 years of age.
Depression is a numbing sadness. You just have no motivation. You don't have any courage or strength to do anything. You're alone, and it's just, you're in your own mind, and you don't want anybody else in it. You just want to be away from everyone.
Really isolating, like it's like a ball and chain on your ankle. It's like you're drowning and everybody else around you's breathing and nobody's like giving you a helping hand. It's irritating because you don't know why it's there. It's just there for no reason. It just kind of shows up one day and knocks on your door, and like it's like your new roommate that you just can't get rid of. And it's exhausting, it's so tired. It's annoying to try and explain it to somebody because they just think it's something that you can stop thinking about and just let it go away, but you can't. So it's definitely something that really just weighs you down like every day. It's hard.
Music is probably one of the biggest ways I cope with depression or just any type of sadness. Music really speaks to a person. You really vibe with it. You hear the words more so than the music itself. Sports is another huge thing for me. I recently joined the rugby team, and let me tell you that really changed a lot. Like, just, I don't know if it's the contact of the sport or the people, but I grew a love for the game. Definitely having a good, small friend group to go to or just to hang out all the time definitely helps to make a person happy.
I like to draw a lot. I drew my first tattoo, and I get a lot of positive feedback about it. I paint, I write in journals, listen to music, I sing, I talk to friends, but it's mostly art that just really sets my mind at ease and helps me get through a lot of the stuff that I go through.
Some advice if you're going through depression is things get better. They do. No matter how much you say you don't want help and you push everyone away, reach out to someone you trust and get the help you need, because no one should live with depression. No one should live without wanting to live. Like, you shouldn't live wanting death. You shouldn't feel that pain. Nobody should go through that. You can do it. You can get through it. You just have to stay strong and keep pushing yourself forward, and every day is a new day.
Definitely that it's normal to feel this way. You may not feel like you want help, feel weak for asking, but you're not. It makes you stronger to ask for help. It's not weak, it's not showing that you're giving up on yourself. Once you do get the help that you need, it empowers you a little bit. It may not feel like it at first, but it's one of the best feelings in the world once you get help.
That we're human.
That you're human.
That we're still a person. Even though what we're going through, you should take your time. Understand that what we're going through, you have no idea.
That a lot of people go through it, and there's always going to be someone there for you, even if you don't feel like anybody cares about you.
Don't treat us any different from another person. If you can tell that something's up with somebody, ask them what's wrong. Don't walk away from somebody who looks like they're having a bad day, because that bad day could be, oh, I don't want to live anymore, and they're gone the next day. We're still people. We're not any different just because we have an illness. We can change, but you have to be understanding towards us.
I'm falling again like I've fallen before.
Hi, my name is John Zuber, and I live with cerebellar hypoplasia. It's a condition where my brain wasn't fully developed, and that led me to not have any motor skills when I was born, like someone had unplugged my brain at birth. When I was little, I didn't really walk unless it was assisted by a toy, my mom, or even an old man walker. It took me a very long time to learn how to do simple things because I was basically rewiring my brain. But the amount of care that I needed took a major toll on my mom.
My name is Sherry Fox. When Don was a baby, it was overwhelming at times to provide the care for him. There was I put a lot of pressure on myself that I had to fix him, and so the therapies that we had to continue at home, I took personal responsibility for, and when he didn't achieve a milestone, I thought I had failed. So I struggled through that for the first year or so, and as we discovered that he was progressing, through the kind of almost the normal progression of what babies do to get to the point of walking, just all the learning that happens. It was just taking much, much longer. But it kind of, when we kind of saw, okay, he's still going in the right direction, that kind of took some of the pressure off. But there was so much need that he had for me that it was overwhelming. He was the fourth child. When he was born, he had a 6-year-old brother, a 4-year-old sister, and a 2-year-old brother. They had needs too, and so to have to find this chunk of time to do everything for John, to help him use his hands, to help him reach for toys, to help him sit up, to help him just understand what he needed. It was just all-consuming at times and just very, very overwhelming. When I think about John and what the future holds for him, I view it the same as I did his life from the very beginning. In the beginning, the doctors couldn't tell us what he could or couldn't do, which was a blessing because there wasn't anything we didn't try. And John would accomplish one thing and then, okay, this is the next thing. Can you do this? And we found out, if he could or he couldn't. And I believe that in his young adulthood that we're at that point still with, will he become independent? How much assistance might he need? Will he be able to function on a job to the pace that the employer desires? Those kind of questions aren't going to be able to be answered until we face them. And right now, he has shown and demonstrated his ability to complete his associate's degree. And I believe that the next challenge we will face will answer our questions. So it's just a matter of time to see what he can and cannot overcome. But I think he'll be able to overcome because he has so far.
Mama, thanks for giving me life.
Good afternoon, I'm Kai Konstantinov, and this is my studio at 722 Franklin, Studio Krakow. I'm here to talk about my painting, which is in more of a classical vein, using very old techniques, lots of glazes, oils on often prepared panels. So I'm preparing at present for an opening. I had done a painting for a gentleman who's a master puppeteer, a portrait of him, which I have just finished putting the glazes on. So I'm ready to show that at this point. I have also published a book and have another one that I'm penning. All of my work is done in a neo-medieval vein, and I think that's because in the 4th grade I was introduced to Edgar Allan Poe, read Masque of the Red Death. I found it compelling where they're inside the castle walls and they think that they're safe from the plague that's raging outside. For me, painting it's a practice. Some people do yoga, some people go to church or synagogue. I find that total immersion experience in painting. I find that takes me to the creative core, the essence of being, whatever Zen terms you want to assign to it. I find the deep immersion of painting greatly restorative, and it's a great healer. I like to think that I'm creating a major opus at this point. I have enough work for a retrospective at this point, but I just really want to push myself as hard as possible. You're always striving for the highest pinnacle you can reach. And so that's what I intend to do in the next few years, is create that definitive body of work. I see my future as just writing and painting narrative paintings, not necessarily illustrations for books, but narrative paintings that tell a story.
So thanks for letting us talk to you for a little bit more. We know everybody was a little crazy that Friday, not just because of nerves, but because the weather was freaking people out. So we just have a couple more questions before we decide.
That was me 3 weeks ago. I was being considered for the Torch Scholarship, and it all depended on 3 questions.
My first question for you is, can you tell us when Northeastern University was founded?
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
All right, we have another question. Research. All right.
I was okay.
All right, I got it. Okay. Just take a deep breath.
Well, let me ask one while you look, okay? You're gonna be an IB person, right? International Business.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. What is the capital of Antarctica?
The capital of Antarctica?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I have no idea. My name is Tiana Muzimurama, and I am 17 years old. The question that I always get and never fails is, how long did it take you to spell that in kindergarten? Like, I have no idea. Like, that's what I want to tell people all the time, but I'm like, probably took a while. They say Tiana Muzabumbo or Tiana Mozzarella or Tiana, and they just don't finish it. I was born in South Bend in 2000, and I think in 2001 we moved to San Antonio, Texas, with my mom, my sister, and my dad at the time. And we came back to South Bend when my mom and my dad got divorced. So it was just me, my mom, and my sister. And we've been here ever since.
So Tiana's been a part of the Trios Upward Bound Notre Dame program for 3 years now. Jenna Dorsey, which is Associate Director of Northeastern University, came to visit them to talk about the Torch Scholars Program. Tiana and I had discussed, and she said she immediately jumped on it and she applied in September, I believe.
Definitely. Because I was always scared. I'm like, oh, where? No. There's no more time for that.
Yes, and it's something that happens when you know your worth. You know you're great.
Now with the Torch Scholars Program, it's a full ride. They pay for her dialogue, they pay for her study abroad, and she could do co-op up to 3 times during this program.
I started a picture journal. So I draw pictures to represent how I felt in the moment, or a story of how things happen. So for my Northeastern experience, I wanted to start from the beginning, how I found out about the scholarship, to the end of when I received it. So instead of writing words, I draw pictures. So it's in October. So I was flying down the road trying to make it to the first meeting at Notre Dame. And right when I was walking in, Gianna was walking out. So then I had to email her, and then I found out that she was going to Adams the next day. So then I talked to Mr. Rivera, and he said, yeah, we have this lady coming in. I want you to meet her. And it happened to be the same lady. So then I'm sitting at the round table with all the other students that are hearing Jana Dorsey talk. And as soon as she gets to the math assessment and saying that that's one of the things that you'll have to do to be accepted and to get the scholarship, automatically 2 or 3 people were like, nah, this isn't for me, without even knowing that it wasn't that difficult. But me, I have little things coming out my head. So then months went by, and I'm waiting to hear back from all of my colleges, including Northeastern. So during my college application process, there was 3 universities that I really, really wanted to get into. So the first one was the University of Notre Dame, the second one was Miami, and the last one was Northeastern. So the first school that I heard back from, it was on a Monday, I heard back from Notre Dame. I found out that I didn't get accepted. And that is why I applied to the University of Miami. And then I heard back from them on Thursday. So then I opened up the letter on my email, and it said, the first word wasn't congratulations. And as soon as I didn't see congratulations, I started crying because I knew that I didn't get into the university.
In February, she found out that she was one out of 400 applicants to be interviewed for down to 50 finalists. So there were 400 applicants, 50 people were selected to be finalists, to be interviewed. They took care of her expenses and my expenses as well to fly her down to Northeastern University to be interviewed, which was an awesome experience. They put us up in a hotel and covered our airfare as well. So when Tiana and I were in Boston, I told her from jump, I said, you know what, baby, you got this and you can do this. And I said, I'm already claiming this for you. And when she was interviewed, she came back to me and she said how well her interview went. It went so well that they had to take her out. They had to interrupt the interview for the next person to be interviewed.
I didn't even say anything. The lady was like, can you please just give us 1 more minute? And I was sitting there like, I mean,
I can tell when we left Boston that she left one heck of an impression with the university. So fast forward, Tiana received an email from Northeastern University asking her if they could do a FaceTime or a Skype call with her because they needed to ask her additional questions to complete the interview process. So as I'm reading the email, I was thinking, something doesn't sound right. Okay, you didn't know I was coming. I had to be here for this.
It was Friday. I was nervous and I just encouraged. I said, but you got this. And she was so nervous. She wanted us in the room, but she didn't want us in the room. So we just decided, give her space. Let's step out, let her know we were right on the other side of the door. And then we just had to wait.
Yeah, okay. What is the capital of Antarctica?
The capital of Antarctica?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
All right, well, let's go with one more. Okay, then we got a really good one now. You ready? You totally got this one. So I just want to know, do you want to be a torch scholar?
And then we heard the scream. I didn't know if it was good or bad.